What's going on YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yocrates. This is your review for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, Episode 16. I know I'd have been gone. I know episodes happened in between. I ain't talking about it, okay? And a lot of stuff that happened on social media. I might cover that, but because of how ethnically and racially charged it all is and everything else, I just don't think that my spirit can talk about it. But we'll see. Anyway, let's get into this episode. So we're 4 days before the Aspen trip. We get Cal and Dorit. They're talking. They talk about Rena's mom passing, and they're actually in the car riding together, and how you know she's not getting over it. Obviously, anytime soon, because I mean, it does take a while for someone to get over a parent passing, especially when you have a connection with them. But what they're doing in this scene is they're coming to her defense to kind of, make her image look a little bit better because, again, she was a disaster at Dorit's event. So obviously, we know what this is. But then Kyle says Rena is taking it out on one person. And my thing is this. Though that is a fact, the fact that you said it and you realize it, why have you not brought this up to her attention? Because now, mind you, as a friend, that needs to be the conversation. But if you're trying to save her job and her check, what you should do is go to her and be like, look, the optics is you're only coming at one person, and you can't blame that on your mother's passing. If you're going to sit here and be this type of B, then you need to sit here and come at everybody, or at least half the group. But again, why am I giving her any advice? Moving on, we get Garcelle and Diana. Diana stops at Garcelle's place. Diana has on her jumpsuit backwards because we find out in the previous scene with Dorit and Kyle that some of the girls, because not all of the girls, but some of the girls, to include Kathy, went for drinks following the little party and whatnot, so they kept it going. And she still hung over from that, and hey, she put her jumpsuit on backwards. And Garcelle was like, I wouldn't have known had you not told me, but all right. So this is their opportunity for them to get to know each other because, of course, Linton Liquor has to, make it a point to say, it's good because, Sutton is in there because she really gets a chance to kind of understand her for who she is. Okay, Heifer. They talk about Linton Liquor getting a hotel room. And I wish she would have just stuck with the whole I'm high maintenance and that's all that it is. But in a roundabout way, she pretty much just like, I'm weird and says, I hired Ghostbusters to come in there. And ultimately, she has people come in to spiritually cleanse a place before she gets there. And I know a lot of people, especially those of a certain religion, will feel like, oh my gosh, that is demonic. It's not. It's no different than somebody coming through, casting out demons or whatever it is. All that's really happening is, depending on your faith or your optics, you're blessing that place because you don't know who or what was there before you got there. So I don't see a problem with it. Does it sound kooky, her saying Ghostbusters? Yes, but it is what it is. Let's see. So we get Rena. She's going through her mother's things. I don't really care. But what I do care is there was a note that was left on a book. And pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, it said that her father's said, I did things my way. And her mother wants on her tombstone, me too. So that's beautiful. And here's the thing. I'm not going to give Lois nothing. I'm going to save it all for her daughter, but I ain't going to give Lois nothing. So we get Kyle and Mauricio. They're playing putt-putt golf. They talk about Aspen. The private jet is set. Mauricio is joining them because, hey, this is their place and he wants to enjoy it. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. I just hope he stay out of women's, stuff because y'all know how y'all get when a man sit here and insert themselves. Even if they, y'all real shut up. Anyway, so the rental property is going to have a chef, which I think is a good thing. So it appears that Mauricio will be cooking for those that are staying in Kyle and Mauricio's place. But for the other ladies, they will have a chef there. So I think that is good accommodations. I'm going to give that to Cal. No, Cal. No, that's South Park. Kyle. There we go. I'm switching up shows. So Sutton and Garcelle, well, they talk about Sutton and Garcelle unfollowing Erica. Obviously, Kyle is going to bring this up, whatever. So now we're 2 days before the Aspen trip. Garcelle calls Sheree. Sheree place is in shambles because, hey, she's back and whatnot. And this is the first time. I want to say that she's done a cast trip since she was on. I think it was Hollywood Exes, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they did a cast trip on that show because it's been so many years since I watched it. But I'll just say her first cast trip since then. So she's just trying to make sure she's looking fly and whatnot. I still don't see it for Cherie, Sheree, whatever. Um, Garcelle downloads her on, what happened the last event and just says, she wants nothing to do with Erica. And if she was on fire, she don't even have water for her. And I said back, like, I'm like, look, Garcelle, baby, we here, okay? We eye to eye. So now we're one day before the Aspen trip. Crystal calls Garcelle. She's working on the reel. They talk about the TMZ article about Erica refusing to return, the diamond earrings that were bought with clients' money. And Garcelle reveals that, yeah, like I literally just got done talking about it on the show. And Chris was just like, really? She was like, yeah. And she was like, could you like not talk about it? She was like, I tried to like, give a little light, but not go into details. But she was like, but the producer was pretty much pushing it. Which we know that's how that goes, especially if you're on a show that is relative to the topic. Oh yeah, they're gonna push it. They're gonna want you to sit here and go as deep as they can push you to go. And she lets us know that the episode is going to air after the Aspen trip, or at least after they leave the trip. So at least they'll possibly have a good trip. Let me see. On the plane, all I want to mention is Garcelle had a flash. I like Garcelle because that's some shit I would do. I'm gonna have my own drinks, and then again, we still in the midst of COVID and whatnot. We in this tight space. No, I'm gonna just sip on my flash. Thank you very much. So we have the dinner. So there's going to be a barbecue dinner that Mauricio's doing the cooking for at their residence. Kathy arrives. She arrives separately from the women, and she is asking 1,001 questions. About can we have corn? Why can't you grill it? Which state do should I want? Where's the silverware? Where is this? She's very high maintenance, okay, and she's not as high maintenance as Diana is, but again, she is high maintenance. But my thing is, Kyle, your sister. So you should have already known what it was going to be and had everything set out for her if you didn't want to deal with her shenanigans. So they pull out a Ouija board. Of course, the Christian women, which is like, hell to the no. So Kyle, being messy as hell, asks two questions. The first one is, will we be able to work out our issues and have a good time on this trip? Kyle knows what she's doing. Again, and what is so funny to me is everyone knows she doesn't have a storyline, and they allow her to sit here and play producer because you don't have to play into the mess. But anyway, that is said, and then she asked, why did Garcelle unfollow Erica on Instagram? And even Erica gave a look like, really, ho? And Erica even said in her confession, like, look, I'm 51, I'm not 14, like, I don't really care, why are we doing this? And Garcelle says it was because I was called a liar when it came to the alcohol narrative. So then Erica said, okay, well, you went to Dorit and told her. When Dorit didn't take the bait, you berated her, telling her, don't be Kyle. And then you went to Kyle. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Dorit brought it up to Garcelle. Well, one of them, like either it was Dorit or Kyle, one of them brought it up to Garcelle, and then Garcelle mentioned it to the other one. But let's be very clear. Garcelle isn't friends with Erica like that, and sometimes you want to go to someone's friend where it's like, hey, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but I've noticed this. I think it is, a bit alarming. And because you're friends, maybe you can talk to this because they're going to take it or receive it better when they're coming from you than it coming from me. But Garcelle also said to her, but I also came to you and I also talked to you. And of course, Erica's acting like she don't remember and she don't know. And Kathy interjects and she's like, she doesn't like the word liar. She's like, she doesn't like the word liar. She doesn't like the word thief. She don't like the P word. And the P word is for pedo. I'm just short. She don't like pedo. And people were laughing, especially with the pedo part. But you can see that, the triple F heifers were looking at her just like, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Why are you inserting yourself? You can, and again, if it wasn't evident in the previous episode, it's clear in this episode they about to come for Kathy, right? So Garcelle and Erica agree to not be friends. Then Cal brings up Garcelle unfollowing both her and Rena last year, and Garcelle said it's because my feelings were hurt following the reunion. Because you have Kyle trying to say, like there's something there, and Kyle also brings up Sutton saying it was a joke. And Garcelle says, yes, between us, it was a joke. And here Kyle goes with the whole, well, I don't get it. It's like she always doesn't get something. And this then pretty much turns into, why did Sutton unfollow Erica? Right? So then so Kathy says, it doesn't matter. Don't make yourself, pretty much more important than what you are. This, again, if y'all go back and watch, you can see yet again, this is pissing, but this is now pissing Kyle off. Because in Kyle's mind, let me do what I do. You stay out of it because you my sister, you supposed to have my back. So then Kyle yells and says, it's the intent behind it. And Kathy better than me because I would have been like, oh, who is you hollering at? I understand this is your house, but who you hollering at? Oh, okay, all right. I thought I hating that said something. So then Sutton brings up Erica calling her a see you next Tuesday and the group not caring. And what she was trying to do is, so you're upset because I unfollowed this woman off of Instagram, but nobody is outraged at the fact that she called me and see you next Tuesday. So now Kyle gets up and says, she don't want to deal with this and the lies and the BS. And I think it's because you saw that this was about to get turned back on you and you didn't want to deal with the heat. So here you go. You threw a grenade. Well, you popped a grenade, you threw it, you let it go off, and now you're walking away so you don't have to deal with the aftermath. Kyle, we see you. I don't know why the other women let you do it, but we see you. So then Sutton said, y'all never said anything about her calling me and see you next Tuesday. And Rena says, why would we need to? The hell? See, look, Sutton is better than me. Because at that point, I would have just been like, you know what, I'm just finna wear your ass out, okay? And I would have been like, Lois, I'm sorry, but I'm about to drag you, but you in the afterlife, so you ain't finna feel these bullets, but your daughter about to. Like, you ain't finna keep on coming for me. But then Lit Liquor gonna say, because she is one. And see, this is one of those things that I don't like, and I experience this with my relatives to where there's a one-on-one conversation. And then other people start to join in. And then once it's clear that one person is now battling 2 or 3 people verbally, that's when, oh, well, let's pile on because now I can jump in because you can't sit here and defend yourself against multiple people. Now I've gotten to the point over the years where I can take on the whole room, let's go. Because I can sit here and start, stop, what it is, what to do. So, let me see what else. So now you have Lit Liquor, Rena, and Erica are all laughing hysterically. And to a degree, it is sickening because y'all see this woman is over here hurting. But at the same time, if I don't F with somebody, I don't F with her. But at the same exact time, if I don't fuck with somebody, I'm just not even trying to get involved in just let everything play out the way that it's going to play out. So Kathy, Sutton, and Garcelle are visibly unhappy. And again, the fact that Kathy is on their side, the takedown they're trying to do is, again, if y'all didn't see last episode, it is very evident here. So Lynn Liquor gives a half-ass apology, even though she didn't mean it. Then she tries at one point to explain why she's putting distance between her and Sutton, and it wasn't coagulated for me. But she then goes on to say that she claims that Sutton has no feelings or compassion, came for her at her lowest moment when she was pretty much knocking on death's door, had the audacity to question why she showed up to Garcelle's event, knowing what she had went through, which I don't think that's really what it was, but again, we can agree to disagree on that. And then says, for someone who has had 2 miscarriages and hid it from the group, then she should understand why I didn't say anything about it. But what you're doing, though, Lynn Liquor, is rather than deal with the matter at hand, you keep going back to using your miscarriage as a crutch because you know no one's going to want to sit here and continue a conversation because now they're going to come off as being insensitive or whatever the case may be. So you're fully aware of what it is that you're doing. But nevertheless, that happens. Lit liquor leaves, which again, I think it's a very cowardice shit where if you sit here and you start it, sit there and finish it. But no, what you want to do is you want to get all this shit off your chest. And once you got it off your chest, you want to leave all that emotion and feeling on Sutton. You're not slick. But she wants to get up and leave because it just is what it is. Which I'm just like, all right, whatever, ho. And what else happened after that? And then Sutton is just saying like, I'm not being dramatic, but it's just like it's too much. But I still don't like how I know why they don't, but why the other woman not defending Sutton or not even defending her, but is pointing out what is right and what is wrong. But I can appreciate Kathy doing it, and obviously Garcella's going to do it. But that is my review, you all. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know how y'all feel about the shenanigans. I'm about to now go and watch some of my fellow content creators to see what they had to say about last night's shenanigans. But with that being said, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. Be on the lookout for some more content coming from me, and I will see you all for the next video. Peace.